Alright, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and put every stage in the game. I'm gonna make a tier list and rank them from best to middle to worst. This game has about like 18 and 19 stages, I think, and it's a mixture of all kinds of stages. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take into account the environment, the graphics, the music, gameplay, how it affects the gameplay, all that good stuff. So let me go ahead and just get started on the tier list. Let's go down the list, starting with the arena. Alright, so the arena. Honestly, this is one of my favorite stages in the game. It's really simple. You know, it is the arena. It gives you that feeling that you are in a one-on-one fight. You can see the spectators in the background. So it's kind of giving off that 1v1 fight, Octagon UFC type feel. I like the graphics. The presentation is good. The music is one of my favorites. It immediately reminds me of the gameplay trailers when Tekken 8 was being announced, and the background music on this stage is what played on the trailer, so it does have that connection for me as well. And also I do like the back, because if you look in the back there is a panel, like a character portrait of the characters that are fighting. I think that's also a pretty good touch as well. The confetti falling, so it really does give off that feel of a one-on-one fight. Overall, I really like the arena. It's one of my favorite stages in the game. It's just the right amount of space, you know, not too small, not too big. There's plenty of room to fight, and overall, very well done stage. I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this stage in A tier. I think arena, one of the best stages in the game. A tier for this stage. On the other hand, we have the Arena Underground. It's a reskin of the same arena stage. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of this. I think this slot could have been used for a different, different unique original stage that isn't just a reskin. All this is basically the Arena Underground. It's darker, there's a couple wall hazards, no crowd, no nothing. It just looks a little bit dead. I get the vibe that they were going for, but I think they could have used this slot for something different, something better. Overall, it really doesn't do anything for me, to be honest, so I'm going to go ahead and put Arena Underground in C tier. Next up on the list, we have Urban Square Evening. This is a pretty solid stage. Of course, as you can see, this is inspired by New York, Times Square. I'm a big fan of stages that do that. I do like that one-on-one fight in a city type of vibe that it has going on. I think the background is good. You got all the spectators, the police car, the taco truck over there in the background, the billboards, the ads, statues. It just has that city feel, of course, and I like it. I think it's well done. The graphics are nice. I like how in the evening's variation of the stage it gets darker, and then by the end of the final round there's snow. Overall, it's very nice, well done on this stage. I'm going to go ahead and put it in A tier. Next up, we have Urban Square Daytime. Nothing changes except the time of day, and because of that, it's basically the same stage. Could have been used for something else, this slot on this stage. So just taking that into account, I'm just going to go ahead and put this down in B tier. Up next, we have Yakushima, and let me tell you this right now. This is an easy S tier stage. I didn't have to think about it. Easy S tier, probably the best stage in Tekken 8. Everything about this stage I absolutely love. The music, the graphics, I love the little details in the background. Got the animals jumping, the deer, the falling leaves. I love the lighting, not too dark, not too bright, just right. You know what I'm saying? Overall, a very, very nice looking stage, very well designed, and it gives off that peaceful feel, but can also become very intense when you're having a great match with an opponent. And also, one thing I like about this stage is that it's a big, wide open space, so you're not going to reach the wall often, and it makes for a good training ground. So if you're ever practicing hitting the lab, this is a good stage to go to. Very calm, peaceful, the music is good. Overall, I love the stage. 10 out of 10, easy S tier. Coliseum of Fate. All right, so I gotta be honest, this is not one of my favorite stages. It's not bad, but I don't know, this stage is just a little bit too bland for me. It's too boring, not much going on. It's a Coliseum. I get what they were going for. I do like the graphics, the environment you're fighting in, the details of the dust and the wind kicking up the dust, making it fly. Very subtle but nicely done. But overall, it's just a little bit too bland. Feels like there should have been a lot more going on in the stage. Doesn't really do anything for me. D tier. Rebel Hangar. This is another stage that I think is a little bit on the weaker side. Really, again, I think it's much like the Coliseum of Fate. It just seems too generic. It does remind me a little bit of Jack 2 stage from Tekken 2. I think if this stage had done what that stage did, maybe give it a bit of a nighttime vibe, I think that would have saved it a little bit. The music is awful, by the way. I don't like the music on the stage at all. There's a balcony break at the end. The bottom half of the stage is a little bit better than where you start, but overall that's not enough for me to save it. It doesn't really do much for me. I'm gonna go ahead and put this stage in D tier. Up next we got Fallen Destiny, and I remember when I got Tekken 8, this was one of the first stages I played on, random select, and I remember being blown away by what I was seeing, specifically because of Lily's hair. As you can see right here in the video, Lily's hair is blowing in the wind with all the effects, the rain, all that good stuff. I remember seeing that and I was blown away completely. So, I'm always reminded of that whenever I see this stage. Overall, I really do like the stage. It's a decent enough size. There's no stage hazards. I like the graphics. The music is pretty good. It does give off that final boss endgame type of feel. Overall, Fallen Destiny is one of my favorites. I think I'm going to go ahead and put it in B tier because there are some things that it could have done better. It is dark, so sometimes it is hard to see, and some characters actually blend in with the background, like Clive when he activates heat. But overall, a solid stage. I'm going to go ahead and put it in B tier. Descent into Subconscious. This is a pretty good stage. Again, when I booted up Tekken 8 for the first time, this was one of the first stages I played, and I remember the key thing that stuck out to me and always will is that in the final round, if you're still on the top floor, there's lightning that strikes, and then the background lights up, and then the floor, the goo that you see on the floor, turns purple. I think that's a really nice detail. This stage has 3 levels to it: the top floor, the middle floor, and the bottom floor. So overall, I do think that the next 2 levels below are better than where you start off. There's more space to fight. The stage hazards, the floor breaks are well done, not excessive. It does what it has to do. The presentation is good. I'm loving the graphics, the darker purple tone of color that they got going on. I like that as well. But specifically, the thing that I like about the stage a lot is the 3rd level, where the 3rd level is probably the best part about the stage. The background is well done. It's bright. Very nice details on the back. You got Jin. I think June walks there at some point. Got the statues. It really does give off that underworld type of feel, and you're fighting in the underworld. You know what I'm saying? I do like that about it. Into the Subconscious, pretty solid stage. I'm going to go ahead and put it in B tier. Sanctum is up next, and this stage, once again, didn't even have to think about it. Easy S tier stage, one of the best in the game. And if I ever have a choice to pick a stage, I'm playing casuals or whatever, this is one of my go-to stages. It's fun. I love everything about this stage. The graphics are nice. It gives off that peaceful moonlit wilderness type of feel, from Tekken 5, Moonlit Wilderness, one of the most iconic stages in the Tekken series as a whole. Definitely reminds me of that stage, so it instantly became one of my favorites, and I do like that type of connection that I made with that. Ever since I played this in the beta way back in the day, when the beta was released in like 2023, way back in the day, instantly loved this stage. I don't really have anything else to say about this. I mean, it's a great stage. The music, it's a good fighting space. There's an additional level to it. Once you get further into the match with the stage hazards and whatnot, there's a transition, but it's very well done. Like I said, I do like that it gives off that moonlit wilderness feel from Tekken 5. I don't know what else to say about it. Great stage, 10 out of 10. Easy S tier for Sanctum. Into the Stratosphere. So this stage is pretty cool. I like what they got going on over here. We're in outer space fighting it out. There's Earth in the background. There's meteors. There's all of these crazy things that are going on at the moment. Presentation-wise, it's good. The music is great. The stage is a little bit on the smaller side, so depending on who you're fighting, you're going to get cornered into a wall pretty quick. But it is what it is. It's the nature of the game. This is one of those stages where it kind of like Fallen Destiny. It does give off the same vibe that, it's 1v1 final boss battle type of feel, end game type of vibe. I do think that Fallen Destiny does it a little bit better. Into the Stratosphere is definitely one of the most I don't want to say like crazy ideas, but it is a little bit crazy, you know, fighting in outer space. But it's all good. Tekken is all about that. There's a lot of crazy things that happen in Tekken. But overall, not a bad stage. The transition into the floor break hazard, the floor blast, it's okay. Again, it doesn't really do much for me. I think this stage could have been a little bit better. Could have done a lot more with it. Not bad, but not good. I'm gonna give it a C tier. Ortiz Farm. So this is actually one of my favorite stages in the game. I think everything about this is well done. I do like how it pays tribute to a lot of stages in previous Tekken games, such as Tekken 6. So as you can see, there's alpacas in the background. You know, a lot of them walking around this stage. Pays tribute to Tekken 6's yodeling stage with all the freaking sheep. And also I do like that it takes place in Peru. I like the mountains. There's freaking alien abductions going on in the background as well. Overall, this stage has a lot of Easter eggs related to previous Tekken games. I do like that a lot about it. There's 3 levels to the stage: top floor, middle floor, and bottom floor. Middle floor is spacious enough, but of course it does have a floor break that leads into the best part of the stage, I think, which is the bottom floor, where it's a very closed off space, treasure, coins everywhere, you know, gold. Every wall is a stage hazard, a wall blast, and it gives off that really chaotic feel. It can work in your favor, it cannot work in your favor. Kind of reminds me of Baby Park from Mario Kart. If you guys play Mario Kart, you know what I'm talking about. Really chaotic stage. Third floor is probably my best, my favorite part of the stage. So overall, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in B tier. I think it's a solid stage overall. Next up, we have Celebration on the Seine. Hope I said that right. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me know if I'm wrong. This stage, again, easy S tier. One of my favorite stages in the game. I like everything about it. The time of the day that we're fighting on, we're on a boat, friggin' boat party. Eiffel Tower in the background. The music is amazing. It gives off that freaking party-like vibe. You know, you're fighting in a party, stuff like that. Spectators in the background. Overall, this is a really amazing looking stage, and it's big enough that you don't feel trapped, but not so big that it feels a little bit excessive. It's just, the space on the stage is just done right. I do like the freaking fish in the back, or sorry, in the floor right there. You can see the fish swimming. Overall, there's a lot of personality and creativity that went into the stage. One of my favorites in the game, and I enjoy playing on it anytime that it gets selected. So Celebration on the Seine, S tier. Secluded Training Ground is up next, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in A tier. It's a really solid stage. This reminds me of the Inner Shrine from Tekken 4, Tekken 5. You know, that whole, that place where Heihachi gets freaking jumped by a bunch of jack robots, gets blown up, and then at the end, Raven is all like, Heihachi Mishima is dead. You know, remember that? That was pretty sick. That's iconic. So overall, this stage reminds me of that. It gives off that climactic feel of a fight. There are multiple floor breaks. I keep saying floor breaks. There are multiple wall breaks on this stage, both to your left and right. There have been matches where me and my opponent end up breaking all the walls, and then the stage just expands to almost infinite. You know, obviously it's not an infinite, but it's a lot of space for you to fight in. Overall, this stage is really well done. I like the environment. The graphics are good. The music is great. Very nice overall. It does give off that classic Inner Shrine type feel that I mentioned. So overall, Secluded Training Ground, I'm going to go ahead and put it in A tier. Elegant Palace. So this is a really nice stage. You know, I like how it looks. You can obviously tell that it's Lee related. You know, you got this massive palace. It looks really fancy. The music, you know, ties into that fancy as well. You could hear how it sounds. Overall, this stage is good, but I do have one big problem with it, and it's the fact that Elegant Palace has stage hazards and a transitional phase. So it sucks because this reminds me of King's Tekken 2 stage, you know, like the castle stage there, or Winter Castle from Tekken 5. But I hate that this has a transitional phase, because once you break the wall and then you go to the balcony break, you go down to this garage looking thing, like a basement looking thing with factory, looking like a factory, and it just ruins the vibe of the Elegant Palace. It just looks like a completely different stage altogether, and I think it could have been like not every stage has to have a stage hazard or transition, and I think this is one of the stages that suffers from it, because now you're downstairs and it doesn't even look like an elegant palace. It's a completely different stage overall. Looks like it should be part of Rebel Hangar, to be honest, or some type of factory. I'm not a fan of the stage transition, and because of that, it does knock it down quite a few points, quite a few tiers in my list. If it was just the castle phase, I would have put it at like A tier, but I'm putting this at C tier. I think the stage transition really ruins it, and the music, honestly, I like it, but I feel like it could have been a little bit better for a palace. But overall, I don't know. It's just missed opportunity. C tier. Midnight Siege. All right, honestly, this is the worst stage in the game. F tier. 100%. Didn't have to think about it. F tier stage all around. Worst stage in the game. This is this stage does nothing for me. It really doesn't. You start in an awkward position. The stage is so small that you're going to get backed up into a corner no matter who you're fighting. There's one stage hazard, a wall blast over there in the background, as you can see, and it's really uninspired. It's almost like the developers threw it in there because it's like, well, what can we do with this stage? I mean, it's kind of ruined, kind of busted. Let's just make a wall blast there. Honestly, this stage really falls flat for me. If this stage were to be deleted tomorrow, I would not miss it. I would not notice it gone. And the music isn't even good on this stage. And I think one thing that sucks about the stage too is that if you're ever, I don't know, I know it's not just me because I've asked around. This stage online, if you're playing online, it's poorly optimized. Like your frames drop, it lags. I don't know what it is about this stage, but it's easily the worst optimized stage in the game. Performance just dips, and it's just an uninspired stage. I think it really does nothing for me. Worst stage in the game. And anytime I play on this stage, I'm like, man, dude, like, really? And I kind of like, F tier. I don't like it. F. Seaside Resort, this is Lydia's stage. I'm a big fan of beach stages, you know, anything like beach related in video games or anime, like beach episodes or whatever. I'm a fan of that. I think this stage is really well done. It really fits Lydia. The music is great. I do like how as the match goes on, it transitions so that, you know, we start in daytime and then the sun starts to set. And then by the end of the final round, if you make it that far, it's all dark. You know, it's nighttime and there's fireworks exploding in the background. The music is just even more hype, more energetic. It really gives you that feel that, hey, you know, you're about to win. Or if you're on the losing end, it's like, man, dude, you better make a comeback right now. Overall, this stage is really well done. I really do like the presentation. It's big space, plenty of room to fight in. Never a dull moment on this stage for me. I like everything about it. This is going to be A tier for me. Up next, we have Genmanji Temple. This is kind of like the arena, to be honest. It's just outside. Creativity-wise, I do like what they did with it. You know, I do like the fall type of season we got going on. The falling leaves, the statue in the background. You know, with the hands, the building, you know, everything looks fine on this stage. I like it. The music in particular really sold me on it. It's a great song, one of the best songs in the Tekken 8 soundtrack. Overall, I like it. This is one of my favorite stages to fight in. Again, it's kind of like an outside arena, so it's a little bit of a closed off stage. But overall, I don't really have any complaints about this stage other than, honestly, I can't really think of it much. It's not an S tier stage. Definitely not that good, but it's one of my favorite stages in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and put Genmanji Temple at A tier. And of course, we do have a variation of this stage as well. This is the same stage, but in daytime. Nothing changes except for the scenery, some of the things going on in the background. Nothing changes, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and put it in B tier. It's the same stage, just different time of day. I do prefer the evening version over it, and that's the only reason why I'm ranking this lower. So B tier for daytime, Genmanji Temple. And now we're here on the last stage on the list. This is Phoenix Gate, Clive Rossfield stage from Final Fantasy 16. I gotta say, this stage, I like it, but I'm sure, so I haven't played Final Fantasy 16, and I'm sure if you have, then there's probably a lot of lore and nice little details that you could probably pick up from here and appreciate. I haven't played the game, like I said. I do appreciate the effort that this stage has. You know, you got freaking Ifrit and Phoenix fighting it out in the background. Overall looking very chaotic. It looks like some important event just took place. I've been told that that is the case. I haven't played the game. Maybe one day I will. We don't know. But overall, this is a pretty solid stage. I do like the second half of the stage better. So once the transition happens, you're in a much bigger open space, and I do like the battle that's going on in the background as well. Overall, if Phoenix Gate took place in this part of the stage, you know, the second half of the stage, I would like it a lot more. The music is pretty well done as well, you know, it's a really good song. But you know, I just prefer the second half of the stage a little bit better. Because of that, I'm just going to go ahead and put Phoenix Gate on... Let's see, Phoenix Gate. This is a hard one, to be honest. I'm going to put it at B tier, and that's going to do it for my ranking of Tekken 8 stages. So overall, I think this game has a pretty good selection of stages. It's only a handful that I don't like, and the reskins, you know, duplicates, whether it's a nighttime, daytime variation, I think they could have taken one out and used that slot for a completely different stage, you know, to not waste the slot, essentially, is what I'm saying. But overall, pretty solid selection of stages in Tekken 8. Let me know what y'all think. How are you going to rank the stages? What are your favorites? What are your least favorites? All that good stuff. Beyond that, I'm going to call it here. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a good day. Stay safe out there. Take care. And I'll see you in the next one.